Hi everyone. So my name's David Staples, and I'm sure you've probably seen some of my other videos by now. If not, I hope you have a chance to check them out after this one. But as some of you might have heard, one of my previous laptops had actually gotten stolen. I've got a soft top Jeep Wrangler, and thinking that it might be safe to leave it in the Jeep while I went out to dinner at the mall. Someone apparently decided that that was the time that they were going to climb in and actually steal my, I think it was a 2014 MacBook Pro. So I've been maybe not so patiently waiting for the 2016s to come out. As you might have seen, they were just recently released. So right now, I went to the Apple site, I guess last night, to try and order one, and it said that the shipping time was 4 to 5 weeks or so. Last week or week before that, maybe even, it was at 2 to 3 weeks. So went around, did a little bit of research, and found that there were some rumors that some of the Apple stores are actually carrying them at the moment, just in very, very limited quantities. They've just started shipping out to the stores here in the last couple of days, and again, they are very, very limited quantity. So if you happen to be able to get your hands on one, never hurts to try and go to your local Apple store to see what you can get, what they've got in stock. They may only have 1 or 2 or 5 or 10. There's just no telling how many they might actually have, but I happened to luck out today, and that instead of just placing my order like I was going to do, I decided I would call around, and the person on the phone told me, "We can confirm that we have been getting some shipments in, but we can't tell you how many we have or what type we have." So I figured, okay, I'll just go ahead and make a run over there at lunchtime and see what you've got, and if it's what I'm looking for, we'll just go ahead and grab one, because I really don't want to wait this 4 to 5 week shipping time that I'd heard estimated. So this is not only an unboxing, but also an unbagging. I haven't pulled it out of the bag or anything since I got back from the store. So of course, what 2016 MacBook Pro wouldn't be complete without dongles. So I personally probably only really need 3 of them. I didn't even get the Ethernet dongle quite yet. I'll probably end up getting one of those at some point. For now, since I do teach a lot of courses, I figured I really need a USB-C to VGA connector, because obviously I have to connect to projectors in different places. Some of the places I go, though, do actually have HDMI connections, so of course I needed USB-C to HDMI. And then separately, even though both of those have a USB port built in, since it was only $9, I went ahead and grabbed one of the USB-C to the previous version of USB, the USB Type A connections as well. So got 3 dongles that hopefully will get me through most of everything that I need, and so I'll probably pick up a Ethernet dongle here at some point, just in case I happen to be at a hotel where for whatever reason their Wi-Fi is just not working, or it's working so slowly, and I need to revert to internet or Ethernet for some reason. But hopefully I'll never need it, but never hurts to have one on hand, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and set these off to the side here, and let's go ahead and pull this thing out and take a look. So even though I was originally looking for the space gray, that wasn't a big requirement for me. I wanted one that would have the processing capabilities for the things that I do. For instance, I do run Windows Server as a virtual machine on here. I do typically run a few different versions of Linux on here, whether it's Gentoo or Slackware or Red Hat Enterprise Linux for some of the things I teach, or CentOS. So I typically also have a copy of Windows for the client as well, so I'll have a copy of Windows 10 on here probably by the end of the day. So this one is the 2.9 gigahertz. Of course, they all have 16 gigs of RAM, I believe, these days. Of course, it's 15-inch. I did have the Radeon 460 as the option, which was one of the other things that I was looking for in addition to the 1 terabyte hard drive. I figured the processor wasn't as important, but since I do some things with video, I figured the extra RAM for the GPU, for the graphics card, would be fairly important, as well as the storage. I needed at least 1 terabyte worth of storage. Really didn't want to spend the money on 2 terabytes worth of storage, so the 1 terabyte was pretty much where I feel comfortable at. So let's go ahead and kind of take a look at the box here first. You can see it's still in the plastic. MacBook Pro. See if you guys can make out the specs. Probably not. Probably shouldn't put the serial number on there anyways, so I guess I'll just kind of leave that blurry. So let's go ahead and peel the plastic off here and take a look at the new 2016 15-inch MacBook Pro with that new touch bar. So plastic's coming off, and we'll just put that in the trash can here in a few minutes. And ever so gently lift the top off the box here. So of course when you first open it, this is what you see. Now granted, I'm sure you can probably see the reflective apple. I know everyone's been talking about that the apple doesn't actually light up anymore. Yeah, that's one thing that I hated to see go as well. It's not a deal killer for me, but of course it was always nice to have that little reflective logo on the back. So once I pull the laptop out, of course we've got a USB-C cable, USB-C on both ends here. And then we've got the standard, I would imagine, instructions and the probably the stickers in here as well. So I never really wanted to put these on my Jeep or any other vehicles, but it does of course come with some stickers if you are one of those people that really like the Apple stickers. And of course we've also got the power adapter, so I'll go ahead and pull the plastic off of this. And as you can see, there's basically a USB-C plug on one side, and then we've got basically the part that plugs into the wall here. So unlike the previous MacBook Pros that actually came with a cord to extend this, this one does not come with that extension. So I think I've probably got a couple of extra ones sitting around that will probably actually work on this. It looks like the same type of interface from the older MacBook Pros, so I'm hoping that I can just pull the power cord off of one of those and use it if I do need the extension. So we'll go ahead and just set our power adapter off to the side here. And actually I'll go ahead and plug it in here as well, just in case it didn't come with a charge. I would imagine that's probably not the case, but I would hate to hit the power button for the first time and not have anything come up, right? And I guess I should also check and see that I actually have a power outlet that is accessible, because of course one of the problems here, it's not going to plug directly in without possibly interfering with something else. So since I'm using a power strip without the ports turned sideways, I have to rearrange some plugs here, but looks like I'm actually good on that front. So we'll get this plugged in, and of course now an empty box, so we'll just set that off to the side. Alright, and so of course before I plug it in, we do have the plastic on the laptop itself, so we'll go ahead and pull that off. I do like the use of very minimal packaging here. Seems to be very eco-friendly, right? Alright, so from what I understand, I can plug this into any of the USB Type-C ports, so we're just going to choose one here on the side. So as you can see, we've got USB port here, USB port here, and I guess that's our headphone jack on the right hand side versus the left, which we've all been used to for so long, so that might take a little bit of getting used to. I'll probably have to search for it on the left a few times and then remember that it's on the right. But then over here on the left hand side, of course we've got the other two USB-C ports. The bottom of the laptop, we can see we've got, of course, the 4 standard little pads here, and even though it might look like it's padding here, this is actually just vents along the side here, another vent along the back here, and then another vent along this side over here. So here's out of the box, all shiny with the Apple. So let's go ahead and turn this thing on here. We'll go ahead and remove our little sheet of thin paper. And it is now booting up for the very first time. Alright, so now we get our welcome screen. So let's see if I can bring this over.
English is the main language. Press the return key.
So you guys might be able to see. Okay, so it's asking me to choose a language here, so we're just going to go ahead and click on the next button, because I do want to use English. My Spanish and French and Italian and Czech are very, very limited. So now it's asking me for the location, so of course I'm going to choose the United States. So we'll go ahead and choose United States, click continue. Keyboard layout, of course we're going to go with US, and click on continue. And then it wants me to join a Wi-Fi network, so I'll go ahead and join the one at my office here. So go ahead and type in the Wi-Fi password here and click on continue. Okay, so now it's asking to transfer information to this Mac. I'm not going to transfer my information quite yet. I do have some things that I want to transfer over to it, but I'll do that manually here in just a little while. So I'll go ahead and click on continue. Enable location services? Absolutely. Even though my last Mac was stolen and it was never found with my Apple account, I still want to go ahead and save this one for Find My Mac as well. So I'm just going to set this over off to the side while I type in my information. So sorry guys, that's information I'm just not going to share here. So, and then we'll just turn it this way while I type in the password. Not a big deal if you find my Apple ID email address by watching me type, but password's perhaps a little more sensitive. Right? Okay, so next we get to our terms and conditions. So go ahead and click on agree. Click on agree here. And of course it wants me to create a computer account. So it's asking for a password here as well. So we'll just go ahead and turn it back this way. Okay, and I'm going to leave both the check marks in here. It's asking for allow my Apple ID to reset this password or set time zone based on current location, both of which I want to do. Okay, so click on continue here. Figured I'd go ahead and put in a password hint as well. Okay, so now it's setting up iCloud. And while it's doing that, of course, you can see the touchpad here is definitely much, much bigger than what was there before. I believe the old one was, what, about this wide or so? So it is definitely a huge size improvement here. You can see the touch bar up at the very top has already lit up some keys with things like volume. We've got the escape key over there on the touchpad. There's some brightness controls. So I'll go ahead and set this over here while I keep on going here. So we'll go ahead and set up the iCloud keychain. Click on continue. Let's see. So to set up the iCloud keychain on this Mac, approve it from one of your other devices using the iCloud keychain. So I'm going to choose approve from another device. Click on continue. And it's saying that an approval has been sent to my other devices using the iCloud keychain. So I've got another Mac, my 8-year-old MacBook Pro sitting here that I'm hoping it will have sent the approval to. Okay, and so now it's saying file vault disk encryption, and actually it looks like here's the Apple ID sign-in alert from on my other Mac. So click on continue here. It's asking for my iCloud account password, so we'll go ahead and put that in. Now I definitely do want to use the file vault encryption and allow my iCloud account to unlock my disk, so go ahead and click on continue. Do I want to store files from documents and desktop in the iCloud drive? You know, I really don't want to right now. I might set that up later, but I do use some other cloud storage that I'll probably set it up to sync with later. Then we've got diagnostics and usage. So do we want to help Apple and app developers improve their products and services automatically? I suppose for right now I'll go ahead and leave these checked for send diagnostics and usage data to Apple and share crash data with app developers. So we'll go ahead and click on continue here. Enable Siri. Well, that's definitely a very handy tool at times, so yes, I'm going to go ahead and let it enable Siri on this Mac. Then it wants me to set up Touch ID. Use your fingerprint to unlock your Mac and make purchases with Apple Pay. Start by placing your finger or thumb on Touch ID. Okay, so and it shows us where the Touch ID is over here, so I'm just going to go ahead and set that up here. Of course, it says to lift and rest your finger on Touch ID repeatedly. And of course, I shift my finger around a little bit to make sure that it fully recognizes that fingerprint. It says your fingerprint can be used to unlock your Mac, so go ahead and click on continue. Next we got Apple Pay. Add credit, debit, or store cards and use Apple Pay with Touch ID to make purchases easily and securely right from your Mac. Fantastic. Okay, and it says loading. Okay, then add card from iTunes, and it's asking for the security code on this card. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn this around while I type in that security code. I'm pretty sure I know what it is off the top of my head. Okay, and it has found the card. It says Chase Freedom Visa on there, so we'll go ahead and click on continue. And so that gets back to setting up your Mac. And the little bottom part with the revolving wheel just says setting up. Okay, and hopefully this should be just about done. And there it is. So just come to about this Mac, and we can see that this is the MacBook Pro 15-inch, late 2016. Processors the 2.9 gigahertz Intel Core i7. Memory is 16 gigs of 2133 megahertz LPDDR3. Graphics, we're using Intel HD Graphics 530 at 1536 megs, which I know seems kind of odd because the hang on, I've got a notification on my phone screen here. Hopefully that's not affecting this. This should actually have the 4 gigs with the 460 graphics GPU, just like we saw in the back here. So I guess there's different parts to that, which is totally fine. It does say that it's added my Google account, so I'll turn that on here in just a moment. So we'll make another few videos here perhaps as I start to use it, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. So I know it's been almost 20 minutes now, might as well go ahead and wrap things up, but if you've got any questions about the hardware or using it, feel free to leave some comments down below if you enjoyed the video. I hope you click on that like button, click on subscribe if you're interested in seeing more about either the Mac or IT or project management videos. It helps me grow my channel even more, so I certainly appreciate your subscription, and hopefully I will see you guys in a future video. So have a wonderful afternoon or evening or morning or whatever time it is there, and look forward to seeing you all soon. Thanks for watching. See you very soon.